Hello. I don't know how to say it. I'm coming to you from my neighbor's dock today. It's a place that I spend a lot of time, mostly because I don't have my own dock, so it's cool to have access to one. But it's a place I spend a lot of time working on photography, and especially last year. Birds in flight was a new genre for me. I really wanted to get good at it. And so I spent basically at least an hour a day sitting on this dock, watching the birds come and go, working on my panning skills, working on my tracking skills, learning the ins and outs of my camera's autofocusing system. And at the end of last year, I came away with probably 6,000 bird in flight images that are still on my computer. I had more. I've culled many of them by now. And I just happened to be going through Lightroom, and I saw that I had taken less than 70 bird pictures this year. And my immediate reaction was that I was a failure somehow for not hitting the same mark that I hit last year. And I see this as a theme that comes up a lot. Folks feel like a failure when they can't get out, and maybe they're in a lull in their photographic career. They feel like a failure because they're not creating constantly. And it hit me. That feeling hit me. And I'm going, why do I feel like a failure when I took my bird and flight skills last year from basically nothing? I had not done that genre ever. And I took it to a point where I was selling prints to people who wanted to hang those photos in their homes. How on earth was I feeling like a failure because I hadn't really touched that genre this year? And so it took a reframe in my mind to go, no, I'm not a failure. I just got myself to the point where I can now come out and I can capture photos of that quality without the need to sit out here for an hour every single day to hone my skills, because I got those skills over a year's worth of practice. So if you're feeling like you're in a lull, or you're maybe in your quiet season of photography and you're feeling guilty that you can't get out of the house, and maybe you're feeling a little bit photographically uninspired and you haven't created anything recently, just understand that just like the seasons of the year, photography and creation and art in general goes through its lulls, its seasons. And, winter is the great analogy. It's, for some reason, a lot of photographers will buy new camera gear in the winter, and then they lament that there's nothing to shoot, especially if they live up north where it snows all the time. Nobody wants to see those landscapes, right? And they're waiting for the spring, and then the spring comes and the snow melts and they're re-energized and they're inspired again, and they go out and they create great stuff. So if you're in a little bit of a lull creatively, then just understand that maybe it's the winter for your photography right now. And there will be a time when that spring season hits for you and you get out there and you're just creating like a mad person you get that rush of adrenaline too when you feel that. It's so good. But it doesn't make this time a failure, and it doesn't make this time bad. You might be thinking of your next photo project if you're in a lull. You might be thinking of a new genre that you've seen and you want to break into that, and you might be formulating, locations and gear and what you need to do, techniques that once you get out there, you've sort of laid out this outline and your new process becomes expedited and you become better in that genre more quickly because you put in some mental work before you got out there, even if you were in a photographic lull. So this is all just to say that these funks, these lulls, they happen to everybody. And I think they're exacerbated in this age of digital creation where we are just inundated with people every single day who are constantly creating and pretty good stuff. And it can make those of us who don't do it for a living feel inadequate or behind because we're not producing to that same level. Well, that ain't for me and that ain't for you. Okay. So we're going to get out there and we are going to take the time that we have. We're going to prioritize the important stuff. We're going to prioritize our family, our relationships, and then we're going to do some photography, maybe in the background. and we're going to get better over time. And our journey is going to be our journey. It's not anybody else's. So in thinking about all this, I just wanted to reframe the conversation that you're not a failure. And these lulls actually are a little bit sometimes a blessing in disguise. And maybe you needed some downtime to get some things done outside of photography and outside of art and creating. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, I would love if you would just use the like button. That's like the best feedback system that I have, that I'm putting something out there that you enjoy. If you subscribe, that's even better. No pressure. And, I watch a bunch of channels I'm not subscribed to because, man, they put out a lot of content and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So I totally get if you don't want to subscribe. But the like button definitely lets me know if I'm providing some content that's worth watching in your estimation. So I didn't even really shout myself out last time because that's not what this series is about. It's not what this channel is about. But if you are interested in the work that I make and produce, I do have a website. That is scotttuckerphoto.com. I have an Instagram that is flailing because Instagram is a terrible platform, and my @ there is Scott Tucker Photo. So thank you for coming and watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will see you soon with some more thoughts about things that I'm thinking about, because that's what thoughts are, and I have some, and I'm going to talk about them. Maybe you'll see them. Maybe you'll watch them. I don't know. It's okay if you don't. What a beautiful day. It's kind of bright, but what a beautiful day. Get outside for 10 minutes today. Get some of that vitamin D. Anyways, thanks. Later.